You're a Melbourne girl originally, Jodi.
Yeah, I was born there.
Yeah. You're certainly well travelled before your music career started back here. Can you just give us a rundown of where you were and what you did?
Well, yeah, I was born in Melbourne, and then I think I was just a few weeks old. We went back to America. My mother's American.
Yep.
Dad's Australian, and I grew up there till I was about 6 in Los Angeles, and came back to Melbourne for a little while, then Sydney, kind of went to school mostly in Sydney, and yes, left home when I was about 17 and was playing music by then, and just playing with just trying lots of things out, and started the Clouds I think when I was about 20, 22 maybe.
Wow. So what was the first music that inspired you to want to be a musician?
Well, my parents always had music on at home, so there was always lots of really good jazz and classical and sort of Brazilian music like Sergio Mendes and Frank Sinatra and you name it. There was everything that was kind of good quality jazz my dad was into, and all the beautiful classical music. And probably the only pop records they had were the Beatles and the Carpenters.
Yeah.
So that was the very beginning, and I still love all that stuff. And then when I started getting to my own music, it was more stuff like Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and Led Zeppelin and all that kind of 70s stuff, 60s and 70s stuff. And I completely bypassed the 80s. I kind of pretended that they weren't happening. I don't know why. I just hated the music of the 80s when it was happening anyway. Now I love a lot of it, you know. I see what the fuss was about, but then I hated it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us bypassed that at the time.
Yeah.
Was there a blueprint for the Clouds when you formed the band with the sound that you wanted there?
Well, I just wanted to... I don't know what the blueprint was. I just wanted to do something that sounded new and exciting and that had interesting kind of heartfelt lyrics and really great melodies. And when I met Trish, we kind of had that in common. I wanted to sort of mix interesting musical adventures with pop, you know, with pure pop. And I guess our two main influences were the Pixies and Lush. Like, if we could sort of see that those two groups kind of had a lot of what we felt we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But you know, our influences are just completely vast. I mean, there's 4 people in the band, and we all had what we loved and put that all together.
How did the songwriting partnership work between the two of you?
Well, we both basically wrote on our own, and then we'd get together and play each other our songs and, you know, add suggestions here or there, or come up with a harmony part or a counter guitar melody or bass line, and just kind of bounce off each other in that way. And then we did start writing together by, say I had a song that I didn't like the words to, Trish would put the words to it, and vice versa.
You had some extended time overseas with the band. How do you look back on those times now, and how important was that overseas recognition to you?
Well, it was really important, and it was starting to happen too. It was getting really good, but yeah, because you know, you just chase your tail around Australia if you do it too many times, and the industry gets sick of you. That happened to us. We still had lots of fans here, and we still do. So that we could have kept playing around, I think, for a long time. But you have to go overseas and establish yourself for the industry to take any notice here.
Yeah.
They did in the beginning. We had a really good start. But yeah, I guess it's just the tall poppy syndrome. So yeah, we went overseas and got a good following in London, and America was starting to go really well. But yeah, Elektra, who we signed with in America, they dropped their whole international roster just as we'd put out Thunderhead. So that really dampened that. But yes, it is very important. And living overseas and doing the whole thing, it's all part of it, but it is very difficult. It's very difficult living in that situation.
Read on the band that you seem to have suffered a little bit from outside interferences from record companies and the like.
Yeah. That's really difficult, that stuff. you have to be so tough to just stand your ground. And we were pretty tough. But, yeah, the record company just thought we were too difficult. They didn't like our choice of singles, and once they actually... they wanted to use the song Domino. I don't know if you know, it's on Thunderhead.
Yeah.
They wanted to use that as the first single from that album. And while we were in the studio, we discovered slowing down tape sounded really good. And so we slowed Domino right down, and it sounded like a man singing. And it sounded really good. We all loved it. We thought, fuck, this is really different and sounds so dark and beautiful. We just did it because we loved it. You know, we weren't trying to sabotage their efforts of making us sell lots of records. But they took it that way. And after that, the relationship just kind of was very strained. And we always had management, publishing company, record company, agents, everyone trying to kind of shape us and, you know, move us in the direction that they thought the record company would be happy with. So we had all these different people with, you know, sort of telling us what to do and what to sound like. And it was pretty frustrating.
Is that something you've been particularly strong on now with your solo work, to say no to that sort of interference?
Well, I don't have anyone working with me now. I don't have an agent or a manager. It's just, yeah, basically, yeah. It's to me, it's something you want to make music that you just really love. And if there's anyone kind of, I guess that's more important to me than being famous, you know, basically.
Was there a particular time for you when the shine started to go off being in a band situation?
There wasn't a particular time. I always found it quite difficult. I think I found it more difficult than the others, just kind of blending into that group situation. Just emotionally, it's quite taxing on your brain. And traveling, being away from home a lot was just not something that came very naturally to me.
Yeah.
I never slept. I was an insomniac on the road, so that drives you completely barmy. So just things like that. Yeah, I was never really a real good sort of travelling gypsy musician.
Any of the albums, in hindsight, you wish you could go back and do again?
I wish I could remix all of them.
Really?
Definitely. The vocals are really low. But, no, I mean, we recorded what we recorded, and I think a lot of it is really, really great. Most of it I really love. But yeah, I'd love to remix some of it.
How would you like to see the band remembered? Is there a legacy there that you'd like to see that the band remembered for?
I just think for making good music. Whatever the different people got out of it, that's their own thing.
Yeah.
But we tried our best, and yeah, I think I've concentrated on it more. I don't know. I think as you just get older, basically, you change and grow in different directions, and different things in life affect what you write. I don't know if my approach has changed. I certainly don't do it as often because I have 2 kids now.
Yeah.
But and having a home studio, that's kind of different. It's a whole different world in there when you're just on your own trying to come up with ideas and watching a song grow.
I guess Parenthood would have brought along a big change in the way you approach your music and your career.
Yeah, well, it's kind of put a stop to touring. I mean, I'll definitely travel around a bit when I put an album out every time.
Yeah. But
as far as long stints overseas or, you know, going around and around Australia, I can't do that anymore. And I don't miss that. I miss performing, but as I say, I still do that a couple of times a year, or whenever I release something, so I get that buzz.
You feel closer to the material, the solo material that you're producing now than the Cloud stuff?
Yeah, and that's why I like it. I think with the Cloud stuff, I mean, there's a few songs that I really love that came out the way I wanted them to come out, but now everything has to come out that way, you know.
There's certainly been a more stripped-down sound in your solo work, and it invokes a real honesty in the music. Is that something you've been particularly keen to focus on?
Yeah, that's just a natural thing, I think. that's just what I like to do.
Now, the Deer Hunters, another a project that you've been involved with. How did that one all come together?
Well, we were just a bunch of friends, and we all lived around Newtown, so we used to go to the Sandringham Hotel, and that was a great pub. I don't know, I guess it was kind of gutted and done up about 7 years ago or something, and it's very different now. But that was a really great pub. People like Bernie Hayes and the Shout Brothers and Whopping Big Naughty, can't remember who else, but lots and lots of Sydney bands. Front End Loader played there. The Clouds, I don't even think ever played there as the Clouds, but we used to all go there and get up on open mic night or whatever and sort of sing with our other friends. And yeah, Tim Oxley, who is my husband, but back then we were just musical friends, and Greg Hitchcock and Raph from the Clouds, we all shared a month of Mondays at the Sandringham. Just a suggestion of a friend said, oh, why don't you all just get up and, you know, play your songs together and see what happens, and it evolved out of that. So we just thought we'd make an album out of all of our songs, and it worked really well.
I guess the relaxed nature of it all, how it all sort of came together, did it end up being a much more comfortable band type situation than the Clouds? Which would have been, I guess, your bread and butter.
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah.
But it started getting pretty serious because we were really happy with the album, but I think some of the members wanted to, you know, take it a lot further and really push it and tour a lot and, you know, get it really huge, which is all very nice, but it was just a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I suppose you felt like you'd been there and done that already.
Yeah. The pressure of being in another four-person band was a bit too much.
Now, your last album was in many parts a homemade recording. You touched on that earlier. Is that probably the most comfortable recording experience you've had?
Well, I don't know about recording experience. It's still hard, and there's still moments where you just want to chuck the thing in the fire. But it was comfortable as far as being in my home.
Yeah, and there is that luxury of being able to go at your own pace, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's good, and being able to listen back to things and not have to just go with, you know, whatever you got that day because that's all you could pay for or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that has its disadvantages as well, I guess. But, yeah, it's great. It's so good to have it.
Yeah, we've caught up with you just after a move down to Tasmania. What took you down there?
Well, we bought a little bit of land and we want to build a house and a studio on. Yeah, because New South Wales is just ridiculous, the price of all that kind of thing. And we just wanted to be in a more remote country sort of atmosphere, which is what we found. So, yeah, we love it. Just wanted to be somewhere very quiet and very beautiful.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
You've received ARIA nominations in the past for your solo work. How important is that type of recognition to you?
Well, it's a very nice thing, but it's sort of, I don't know, it's not that important, really. It would be great if it happened every time or whatever and actually won one, that'd be a really nice feeling, but, it doesn't really matter. It's sort of just doing what I want to do.
Is there a certain type of style, a certain type of album or a style of album that you'd particularly like to get out there?
Well, I'd like to do something really lush with where all the things in my head actually come out on the recording. So I just have to get my fingers to do that. Get my fingers to copy what is happening inside my head on the piano or the guitar. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just want to make records where the vocal is just really great and strong and intimate, and the songs come up as best they possibly can. That's just what I try to do.
That's nice. Are there any recording projects in the wind?
Well, I'm working on one now, and that'll be my 4th album. And we've also been writing songs for a children's show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a great sort of discovery. I'd never thought I'd be doing that kind of thing, and it just came about through Sony, who I'm published with.
Yeah.
And they said, do you want to try writing some songs? So I did, and that was so much fun. I just really, really enjoyed it. It's just another part of your brain. You don't have to delve into anything, any depth. You just sing what's fun. And yeah, that was great fun. So I'll probably do more of that. Make a kids' rock album or something with him.
Did you find that a more difficult experience than you thought it would be?
No, it was much easier than I thought it would be. Yeah, it was really surprising.
What are the release plans for that?
Oh, well, some of those songs are on a Channel 9 kids show called New McDonald's Farm.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But in doing that, like in doing the demos, we did the singing and the playing and everything, and on the show, it's sung by the characters, so they have their funny little voices or whatever.
Yeah.
But in doing the demos, I discovered I'd really like to do my own stuff. Just like, I don't know, the Archies or Josie and the Pussycats, that kind of thing, but for little kids. So that's an idea that's kind of bubbling away, and it's great fun.
Lovely. Watch out, the Wiggles.
Yeah.
and the solo album, what any plans for... What sort of time frame are you looking at there?
Well, see, we don't have time frames anymore.
It's not, no.
There's none. There's no deadlines.
When it's ready, it's ready.
Yeah. Well, next year.
Yeah.
What are we in now? We're in October, September. Yeah, sometime next year, I'd say.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Cool.
Great to catch up with you, Jodi. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for all the great music in the past and plenty more to come, we're sure.
Oh, thanks for playing it.
No worries.
All right.
Take care.
See ya, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.